Hey everybody, welcome back. Let's talk about the hidden cost of context switching, and I will explain what that means in a minute here. But I want to talk about this because it's something I actually struggle with quite a bit at times. And I do it, I think, sometimes whenever there's something I'm interested in, but it's also a level of boredom, and I want to make things a little bit more challenging or interesting. So I find myself jumping between different tasks really rapidly. And task switching has actually been studied quite a bit in the research. And while it's true that as you develop more expertise in a domain, you can become more proficient at task switching in a way that allows you to still accomplish your goals. But there's also a ton of research to suggest that when you're doing frequent task switching, you're jumping between especially unrelated tasks, that it can cut your productivity by 40% or more. There's a study done all the way, I think, over 20 years, 20 to 25 years ago. And there have been some other studies that have found this same thing. Now, what I mean by task switching, though, is it's not like when you're driving a car, you are actually having to manage multiple tasks at once. You're steering, you're keeping your eye on the road, you're keeping track of your relative speed, you're paying attention to things in your periphery. There are multiple things that you're doing, and you're required to manage multiple tasks in order to drive effectively, right? But all those tasks are relatively related to one another. And even within that environment, you can get so absorbed with task switching that you're kind of looking around and you miss the most important thing. So even when the tasks are related, it has a certain level of limitation. As you get more and more skilled, your ability to kind of fluidly switch from task to task quickly and stay focused on the main thing can get better. But what happens in a lot of our lives when we're in gameplay, when we're in all sorts of different environments, is our skill, our effectiveness depends upon our ability to focus and to focus on the most important things and to manage the other things along the way. So, this is true even, when students are learning to study in school and they have multiple assignments that are due. And instead of really focusing deep and getting one key assignment done, they keep jumping from assignment to assignment to assignment. More quickly than is actually helpful for them to make progress. And so let's talk about this and how it can be useful, what we can do to help mitigate the downside of task switching and context switching, such that it really deters us from being successful in our virtual and literal treasure hunting and truth seeking and decision making and all those other things. First one is to begin to be more conscious of the switches that you make. So spot the switch when it happens. Notice when you change tasks mid-flow. You're right in the middle of something, and then all of a sudden, oh, I forgot about this. Oh, I forgot about this. And you find yourself kind of jumping back and forth. Note it, spot it, pay attention to it. You could even journal and document it so you become more conscious of it, and then you can make a decision to not do it or to make a decision and remind yourself, hey, hold on, you're getting distracted here. Stay focused. And you could do some good self-talk to keep yourself focused on the most important thing. The second one is if you want to help manage this, then batch together similar work. So tasks that are more closely related. You can handle your emails together and your calls together or other things of that sort. Or you can organize things by a specific topic or project. And by doing this, you're going to be able to keep your mind focused on a similar theme or topic, and it's going to allow you to achieve greater productivity, gain greater insight in that area, rather than just shifting all of the time, and it's like you're starting over. It's almost like you're running in one direction, and then you have to stop and turn and go a whole nother direction. Focus on all the tasks that are going north and do those together, batch them together, rather than doing the task that's going north and then the one where you have to go east and the one where you have to go south and the one where you have to go west. That's what really gives you a bit of an intellectual whiplash that's not helpful to accomplishing goals. The third one is when you're working on a project, push yourself to a natural stopping point before you switch. It's natural that sometimes you do need a break. Something is really hard and you can only concentrate it on this so long. And I'll do a video on the Pomodoro method, which can be really helpful, where you work on things in these 25-minute sprints. But it is helpful to take some short breaks. And some people suggest that, 20, 25, 30, or 40, 45 minutes on something, and then give yourself just a 2, 3, 4 minute breather, stand up, stretch, do something, and then you come right back to it. I'm not talking about that as task switching. That can actually help enhance your performance in an area when you're focusing. But when you're in the zone, kind of stay in the zone and sort of stay with it for a bit. But push to a natural stopping point before you switch. So you're working and maybe you're working on preparing a solve for a particular treasure hunt or something like that. Well, work your way through a certain stage where it's a natural stop. You put a little bookmark and a note for yourself. You can stop, go to something else, come back to it later. It's a little bit easier to pick up where you left off. Fourth one then is to schedule some task blocks. So this is one where, again, I can talk about it more in a different video on the Pomodoro effect, but give yourself, say you're going to work on a particular part of this project or this puzzle, and break it up into some categories and give yourself a time limit. I'm going to work on this for the next 30 minutes or 60 minutes or 90 minutes or whatever it is, and then I'm going to give myself a break and I'll switch and I'll go work on another one, and then I'll come back to it. Now, I find myself doing this. My attention span sort of varies. I have a series of micro tasks that I do every single morning just to help me stay sharp and make some progress. I work on a couple of different languages slowly, a little bit each day over years, and I work on practicing an instrument, and I do sort of shift from one to the other. And there's an argument to be said that maybe I'd actually get better outcomes if I did each of them a little less frequently, but with a longer period of time and with greater depth. And that's where these blocks can be useful, where you really block off a dedicated time for a given task that you're going to work on. And then practice single task games. So chess or puzzles or other things like that. We do live in a world where our attention span is from the next short video clip, especially if we get caught into video shorts, which is why I'm a little bit critical of shorts. That's why I don't actually do YouTube short videos, and I try to stay off of Instagram and TikTok and other things like that. I limit myself very much in how much I expose myself to it, because not because of the content as much as the way that it shapes my brain and the patterns in my brain, that it's teaching my brain to just switch topic to topic to topic, which is actually, it doesn't give you time to reflect and analyze. Instead, you're just sort of absorbing bumper sticker claims and statements and phrases, and you're not going deep into a single truth claim or a topic. And that can transfer into our problem solving and our decision making in life, and yes, our literal and metaphorical treasure hunting. So let's practice some single task activities that can help us bring back that attention span that's so useful. I hope you find this useful. I look forward to your comments.